Hello and welcome to episode 3 in our playthrough of ARK Survival Ascension from the beginning. So to recap very quickly while we load in. First video was a little bit longer than anticipated, so ended up I think being 50 minutes in the end, which gives you some idea of how easy it is to lose hours within this game. We are playing this on the PS5 and I'm playing this through my PlayStation Portal. Just our tidy whiteys, and we went through the basic resource gathering and crafting the start out materials. We have the settings on a fairly low difficulty so that we can focus on our base building, so that I can take you through the kind of core gameplay mechanics. And as you can probably see, we chose a lovely spot by the beach, and most importantly around a area where there's lots of materials, most importantly palm fronds, because almost everything that we build is going to involve these guys. So this is what we use to make thatch. So in terms of crafting, and particularly the base building, we have different blueprints. We've got building foundations, walls, ceilings, some pitched roofs, which I struggle with a little bit to get the right ones. And so we can cycle through the different types and go about building our base, which is what we'd focused on in episode 2. During that, we did get attacked a little bit by some winged creatures that also caused a little bit of damage to our lovely beachside property as well. And so to give you a rough idea of the size of this particular biome, which is the island, this is the area that I have explored on multiple playthroughs. So I've invested quite a lot of hours into this game. This particular series is from scratch. And so I had kind of focused on different things. So first playthrough was to understand all the mechanics with the easiest of settings, so there wasn't a great deal of kind of environmental challenge, and also with the harvesting of materials pushed right up to the maximum. And that enabled me to go through and understand what I needed to do for all the different crafting, because as I've probably said in other videos, if you've not watched them, there's a lot of games out there competing for your time and attention, and I have the PlayStation Premium. Kind of have a look at the games, put some first thoughts onto the channel, because the play style for me, the time that I have isn't kind of 6-hour slots to invest into these AAA open world games. So this is perfect for me. So I would put this somewhere in the middle of, let's say, Stranded Deep and Rust, to kind of scratch that itch. So Stranded Deep, excellent game, but there's a heavy focus on the survival aspects, which actually I found a little bit, not stressful is the word, it's a game really, but it hampered my enjoyment, should I say. So what you want to be able to do is craft your own little corner of the world here. Rust, this has definitely got elements of that. So if you want a hosted server, there will be other real world players that can come and well, seek and destroy, for want of a better phrase. So ordinarily your base building would involve putting all the good stuff inside. I have the crates outside because there is no threat at this point. In terms of your base building, similar in terms of you've got different materials which offer different levels of protection, but unlike upgrading, so for example using your hammer to turn thatch into wood and wood into stone, you will need to craft it from the source material from the start. Anyway, enough of a recap, let's get on with it. We had pretty much completed our downstairs. Most importantly, we had a fire down here so that we can cook meat, and we should be able to get some off there. So we've got some nice cooked meat there. What we'll do is we're going to drop the spoiled meat, because that's no good for us. and we'll put some fresh meat onto the fire. So the way that works is that you will need to drag, so in your fire you can see an inventory screen up here, hopefully the cursor is picking up, and then you will drag in fuel, so in this case wood, and it will tell you how long that's going to burn for, and that will automatically cook the foodstuffs that you put on there, so you don't need to worry about it burning. You can see the reason that there's just random packages around is because we dropped that meat there. Upstairs, second most important thing is, as soon as practical, as soon as you've got the materials, craft yourself a simple bed. And what this means is that you can respawn at this point, and also you can fast travel. So going across the island pace, the risk level can very quickly pick up. So it's quite nicely paced in that what you do is you can either build very simplistic bases. You don't even need to have one to place the simple bed, but that allows you to kind of travel across the island. So in this episode, let's try and tame ourselves a dinosaur. So the mechanics there, and I think this is fairly unique to the game, being able to tame the dinosaurs. You've obviously got the smaller ones, which are a bit easier. I've not managed to tame any of the flying ones at the minute because they are very, very agile and difficult. So once you basically, there's two different mechanics. With the smaller ones, you can just feed them a food of their liking, and they will become tamed, and you can name them and then give them commands via a radial wheel. With the bigger ones, that involves, which sounds barbaric, clubbing them unconscious and then feeding them. So we won't tame a dodo. I'm not sure how much use they're going to be to us. So I have tamed one of these before. I got all the way up to a T-Rex in one of my previous playthroughs, which took quite a bit of time. So what we need to do here is, have we unlocked this? We have, we should have. So we need to find the blueprint for a wooden club. So I do apologise to any animal lovers. I am an animal lover myself, so you know, this is it's a game at the end of the day. We're not really harming. What we're doing? Sorry, we need to learn that one. We're not harming any animals, but it can seem a bit brutal. Okay, so we've crafted the club, and we've learned the blueprint for the club. That means we need to then go and craft it. As you can see there, the crafting menu will say which materials you need to do that. And then lastly, we can drag and drop that into one of our quick action slots down here at the bottom. So let's head over here. It's a little bit slow at the moment. I must be weighed down with materials. So for some reason he doesn't want to equip that. Not quite sure what's happened there. Oh, that's because we've crafted. Oh my dear, we've crafted quite a lot of them by accident. So let's go ahead and equip that. I wondered why he was going slow. And then what we'll do is right. Okay. So whilst that is unconscious, what we need to then do is in our inventory, or in the dino's inventory, is because these are herbivores and not carnivores, we need to then drag over some foods to tame them. Now I do have this on, as I say, the kind of easier end of the spectrum, so taming dinosaurs is a little bit more forgiving here. Obviously with the larger animals it takes more time and effort, and the T-Rex needed prime meat. So at the moment you can see the taming menu there at the bottom. So we've got two different mechanics at play here. So the purple one is how long the animal will remain unconscious before it it gets up and we don't want that. So this is, you got to kind of protect them while they're unconscious from these little. The raptors are pretty awful, actually. So maybe we need to gather some more foods here. Again, we're going to drop that raw meat. I don't think, I can certainly try it, but I'm not sure. I don't think that putting meat in there is going to help. Ah, okay, there we go. So once it's tamed, we can name our parasaur. And we're going to call it here, what can we name him? We'll just call him Para for short. We'll accept that, and then our friend Para here will follow us around. So the other aspect that we need to do for this, hopefully we've got enough crafting materials, is we can then learn, hopefully, so we'll just look for the blueprint for it. We can then hopefully craft a saddle, which means that then we are able to ride the dinosaur. So parasaur saddle, we've got enough points there to learn that. That unlocks the ability to craft it. Over to our crafting menu, and we need more hide to be able to do that, which unfortunately does mean that we need to get that from an animal. Which again, so that's a combination of so if it's not harvesting, then you can hit the crouch button, which is the right thumbstick. Just check our inventory to make sure we've got enough hide. Okay, that looks like we're good. Let's craft that. A little bit of stuttering there, but that is more down to my internet. Okay, so when we access the inventory now, you can probably see over here that there's a couple of different things. So first and foremost, we can drag the saddle over to here, and that will equip it. I've not unlocked any costumes or carts at the moment. I think some of that relates to DLC, which is paid DLC. So there we are. We have tamed Para. We've named him. And what we can do is, he's got his inventory there, so we can store items. And he's also got a leveling system as well. So as we gain experience, we can increase all those different things there. And we also need to make sure that in his inventory, he remains fed. And then last but not least, we can hop on board. We have our very own dinosaur to head over to our home. And we can, once we're off there, it will, so it will just follow around. So we'll just hop off for a second. It will just follow us around as we go and explore the island, which is useful for storage and for a bit of protection against the other animals. What I tend to do is, whilst I'm crafting, is the radial wheel here and this stop command will mean that he just stays quite happily here. So there's lots of different crafting things. We've got crates here. We can we can craft preserving bins, which means that our food doesn't spoil as quickly. Feeding troughs, which we can fill so that our dinos will go and feed themselves. There's some crop planting aspects to it. It's a very in-depth game, and as I mentioned in earlier episodes, the fact that this is kind of not a new release means that all those bugs are ironed out, and there's an awful lot of free DLC. It was remade in Unreal Engine 5, which improved quality of life type stuff, and obviously the graphics as well. So we'll just round the video off with a little bit more crafting. So our quarter panels are going to be for railings. We want to craft the walls and doorways. So we'll make a few of those. They'll pop up in our inventory like so. And then we can place those down. And as we press the square button, that will cycle through the different options. So doorways, windows, supporting walls, as you can see. So we'll place our windows here. That pretty much finishes our upstairs. I was going to put a little balcony around there. So let's craft some of our quarter walls. So we should need, I think, 3. Which works out well because that's how much material we have left at this point. So top tip there here is if you press square, you can actually, with the same amount of materials, make a double railing like so. Then what remains here, which is proved a little bit more tricky, is if you want a pitched roof. What I would say is it might well be me, and let's face it probably is that working out, as you can see, the roofs where they snap into place is a little bit odd. So although you can press square to go through and you can kind of do snaps to rotate it within the environment, I'm not sure that any of those angles are going to be particularly good for our roof, as you can see. So let us try. I think it's this one. Okay, that should. So if we then, hopefully, let's try and craft just a bog standard roof panel. Okay, we need some fibre. Hopefully that'll sit nicely on top at the angle. So I think the skill there is to kind of get your triangular bits and then rest the other bits on top. We shall soon find out. So in order to harvest, we need to be empty-handed. And as we pick up the fibres from the plants here, we're also going to be picking up berries and whatnot, which we can sort out, but I'll probably do that on another video, is get that into our inventory. So let's just craft ourselves a roof panel. And we'll do 2. I'm going to craft one of those and one of those. Okay, so let's start with this one, see if that'll snap nicely into place. Okay, so that will, I guess, work. So again, as you can probably see, when I was over there, that would have worked out, okay, quite well from that perspective. And then if we place a standard one on the back wall here, what have I actually made there? Oh, I made a ceiling panel rather than okay. We probably are going to need some ceiling panels. In fact, I'll put one up there like so. And it's a triangle one. Okay, so as you can see, there's a bit of work to be done to work out. Building rectangular bases is fairly straightforward. Actually, you don't need to build a base at all to be able to put down a simple bed. You can craft a sleeping bag early on. There's not really a need to rest in the game per se. The night cycle is not like some other games where it's kind of pitch black and you can't do anything. So yeah, this is more of a chilled kind of playthrough. So that should just about do it for this episode. So again, quick recap. This is ARK Survival Ascension. I actually picked this up on half price, and I think there were 3 free DLCs. Looks like there's an active modding community. There are hosted servers, there are modded servers, and you can also create a dedicated server. So what you can do is you can actually invite friends to your little biome, your little world here. Within the open servers, which I've not tried at all, so I will do that at some point. Obviously, that is player versus player and player versus environment. There are options to tribe up, so go and kind of make friends with people and join forces to harvest, build structures, all that kind of stuff. And as I mentioned, I did manage to tame a T-Rex. I do need to be at a very high level to be able to craft a saddle to then be able to kind of ride the T-Rex, but you can command it to defend yourself. So you could end up with full-scale dinosaur wars, really. If then you it'd be interesting to see what some other real-world players have created within the world. And what that would mean, I expect, is that the server settings and the difficulty are kind of level for everybody that jumps onto those particular servers. So it's not the case that somebody can kind of go in so that they don't take any damage, tame the best animals, and then go and kind of dominate the maps. So over in the background there, you can see there's some kind of technology. So I think there was not much of a backstory or introduction. It is a remade game, which I didn't play originally, so I'm not too familiar with the lore, beyond the fact that this is an ARK. It's a kind of biome that's been populated to regenerate it, largely with dinosaurs. And of course, good old mankind comes along and we harvest it and tame the dinosaurs to our own end. Crafting wise, I'll just finish the video on that to take you through engrams, as they call them, which are basically blueprints. I'll just scroll as I'm talking, just so that you can get an idea of the range of things that can be crafted. So that's everything from building materials to armor for yourself and the animals. We've got guns, we've got, by the looks of it, a sniper rifle, attachments. So the aim for the rest of this, or the initial part of the series, depending on how long it goes on for, is to then craft some of the more in-depth stuff. So in one of my playthroughs, I made a forge and a smithy, which means that I can then start to craft some more advanced things. With the harvesting settings as I've got them, that shouldn't be too much of a grind to then go and harvest those raw materials and be able to craft more interesting things like wells and things like that. So I hope you're enjoying the series. There are 2 previous episodes. I will be playing some more, and that's going to be a combination of me kind of talking through, and in some occasions I'll turn the audio settings back on in the background and just play through and let you watch along. So I tend to do these narration ones during my normal playthrough time, so that I am not interrupting everybody else in the house. And the PlayStation Portal, I have kind of give some views on the Portal, on the channel in general, and also PSVR 2. So I had the PSVR 1 on its release, which was just a whole new world. It's very difficult to explain. to people who haven't experienced VR just how immersive that is, because it just doesn't translate onto the flat screen. I did get, or say did get, I still have a Quest 3, because I went from PSVR to Quest 2, then the Quest 3, the Quest 3S represents, so I haven't got that one, I've got the Quest 3, seems to represent very good value for money because you're not really sacrificing that much for quite a cost saving. So in terms of portability, I would say that's the winner. The pass-through is much better. It's colour, and obviously you've got that whole ecosystem. It's Android based, so you can access your web browser, you can sideload content. It's very good for that kind of playthrough. PSVR 2 picked one up secondhand over the Christmas period. So obviously that has then, rather than just being a kind of mobile chipset, that has got the power of the PlayStation 5 and all the cable systems and things. It was a little bit kind of interfered with the immersion, and there's quite a bit of screen door effect on that in terms of graphics. So yeah, having picked the PSVR 2 up, I got Resident Evil Village, I have World of Assassination and Gran Turismo, all of which are absolutely incredible. So I will be able to capture some footage in there. Obviously, it won't really translate onto flat screen, just how immersive it is, but I would highly recommend any one of those games. Gran Turismo still got a fairly hefty price tag, even second hand. Resident Evil Village, after I bought it, it's just become one of the PlayStation Plus premium titles that I did play in flat screen and really enjoyed it. In some ways, I wish I hadn't, because although it's like playing a different game again in VR, you kind of know what to expect. And lastly, Hitman World of Assassination. Some of those environments, those sandboxes, were on Hitman 3, which had the VR mode. Graphically, massive improvement, and the depth of it. Oh, you're getting attacked. The depth of it is really incredible. Oh, what's he going to do? He's trying to protect me. Yeah, the depth of those sandboxes, sometimes you just find yourself wandering around amazed by the detail in the environments. Anyway, I'm supposed to be talking about this game and a playthrough, so future videos, I think I've pretty much covered all of the kind of basic mechanics of the game, so that I don't need to narrate through all of my playthroughs. So I will be switching the audio back on and just capturing the footage as I play through, and I will upload that as I do it. I'll thank you as always for watching, especially to those people that took the time to hit that subscribe button. Everyone's got to start somewhere, and this is very much a hobby for me, so I'm just capturing games as I play them, so that I don't have to spend lots and lots of time editing them before I can upload them. Yeah, if you could hit that subscribe button, it would be greatly appreciated. And I hope you join me in future episodes.